There has been no bigger surprise for the A's this season than starter Trevor Cahill. Cahill was signed in late March, 10 days before the season started. So far, he has 5 wins and an ERA a little over 3, but more importantly, he has given the Athletics quality innings. Tonight, Cahill gets the ball and takes on the Twins from Target Field in Minneapolis. Game 1 of 4. A's Twins, next. Well, the A's 7-game road trip starts tonight at Target Field here in downtown Minneapolis, one of our favorite ballparks. Trevor Cahill will get the ball in the first of this 4-game series. It's the A's and it's the Minnesota Twins coming up on NBC Sports California, powered by Xfinity. Hi again, everybody. Welcome to Oakland A's Baseball, along with Ray Fosse, M. Glenn Kuiper. You saw Trevor Cahill. He's pitching well. He's won 4 out of his last 5 starts, and Ray, I think his last start against the Astros was the best start of the year for him.
Well, especially against a pretty good team in the Houston Astros. The A's did win the ball game, but what Trevor Cahill really has done, first of all, is a great sign by the Athletics because of so many injuries, but he has proven to be the veteran that the A's needed in the rotation. Plus, he's added a great curveball and a changeup. Against the Astros, he used everything, including his great sinking fastball, but the strikeouts, when you go double figures as he has done twice this year, that says a lot about a guy who really was before a sinking fastball pitcher and a ground ball pitcher.
Disappointing season for the Minnesota Twins. They were a wild card team last year. This year, 6 games under 500. But tonight, young man by the name of Cole Stewart is going to pitch, and he is a big part of their future.
Yeah, the #1 draft choice in 2013. The A's seeing him for the first time, but you're right, Kite, because of trades of a lot of key players, this young man gets a start. I think Paul Molitor and the organization trying to see what he can do, and some of the other young players, including pitchers and position players. But the bottom line, the Twins, you cannot take any team lightly, especially a team managed by Paul Molitor.
All right, so Stewart and Cahill, that is the pitching matchup in the first of 4 from Target Field here in Minneapolis. Up next, we will go back to the A's pregame live studios, and then after that, come back to Target Field for lineups and first pitch.
NBC Sports California is brought to you by Toyota. Designed for the grind that comes through every time. See your local Toyota dealer today. Toyota, let's go places. By Southwest Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. And by Jack in the Box. Try something different, like Jack's Teriyaki Bowls. Only at Jack in the Box for a limited time.
Game one of the four-game series just about set to get started. The A's and the Minnesota Twins. That's the starting pitcher tonight for the Twins, a youngster by the name of Cole Stewart. Game time weather for tonight is brought to you by the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. Get to the beach. The admission-free boardwalk is open daily. It's a beautiful night, 75 degrees, really not a whole lot of humidity, a very nice light breeze. There could be some rain tonight into tomorrow morning, but no problem for the ball game tonight. Here's the A's starting lineup. It's brought to you by Southwest Airlines. It starts with Nick Martini. He's in left field. Matt Chapman's at third. Jed Lowry's at second. And Chris Davis, the red hot Chris Davis. He's the DH. Then it goes Olson, Piscotty, Simeon, Laureano, and Lucroy. That's your A's starting lineup.
Well, the young man just getting a call to the big leagues. He has not made that many starts. Early August was his first start. And, of course, the Athletics saying Cole Stewart for the first time. Third start. 0-1 record, a young man who was drafted in 2013, as we mentioned. So if you look at his numbers, the minor league level, the numbers of innings pitched, high school pitcher, that's kind of exactly what you'd like to see. Get some experience. Now he gets the experience at the major league level.
Defensively for the Minnesota Twins, they have Rosario in left, Kepler in center, Cave, that's Jake Cave is in right. Adrianza, Polanco, Forsythe, and Maurer on the infield with Bobby Wilson doing the catching. So we are underway as Cole Stewart's first pitch of the game is a little bit outside. Facing Nick Martini. Martini hitting .291 with 11 RBIs. So 7:10 first pitch local time. Beautiful night. Umpires tonight. That's Tim Timmons. He's calling balls and strikes. Mike Malinsky's at first. The crew chief Mike Winters is at second, and Jansen Visconti is at third. That's Mike Winters.
Okay, as we stand, I think his bat was cracked, so he's getting a new bat. Nick Martinez started walking towards the dugout. I just got to say, Kai, if we're standing down behind in that area, it's like you could shake hands with a fan sitting behind home plate. Not a lot of foul territory behind home plate. See the numbers for Nick Martinez. There you see the TC Twin Cities logo, but man, it is close. And as we like to say, the fans in that front row are closer to the batter than the pitcher is.
I think you're right.
Yeah, exactly. It's amazing. And play a carom off the back wall for a home plate. Let a wild pitch go and entice the runner to come down third base and pick up the ball and tag him out.
So 3-2 the count to Nick Martini.
The veteran Bobby Wilson catching the youngster tonight, which helps him out.
Tapped slowly, and that's the third baseman Adrianza. Fires to first, one away.
And that's the sinker right there that you have to be concerned about with this young pitcher.
Well, tonight, any 95-mile-per-hour fastball is our fast pitch, brought to you by Xfinity, the fastest Wi-Fi at home and on the go. There's a good look at Cole Stewart. As we showed you in the open of our show, the 4th overall pick in the 2013 draft. So, high expectations for obvious reasons for Cole Stewart. He's only 23 years old. He was a terrific high school football player. Could have went to college to play football, but he chose to sign with the Minnesota Twins. Tough to pass up 4th overall pick bonus money.
Exactly right.
19 starts in the minors this year. This one's skied out in front of home plate. Who's going to catch it? It's going to be Adrianza, the third baseman, 2 away. So Chapman is retired, and that'll bring up Jed Lowry.
The A's are going to have to do what they can in seeing this young man for the first time, as we often mention that. See all the video and the scouting report. Adam Roden, of course, the A's hitting coaches, Darren Bush, Mike Aldretti, but man, you have to get to the plate and see for the first time. And I think the 3-2 fastball that Nick Martini got was the sinker. And if you can throw a two-seam fastball, get sinking action in a hitter's count like that, you're going to have a lot of success. And he throws the majority of his pitches being fastballs. 2 and 4 for both of them, and getting a lot of sink.
1-1 the count. Stewart, 6'3", 210 pounds. From Houston. There's a little flare, but it's foul. So Stewart ahead of Lowry. 1-2 the count, just underway from Target Field. It's a top fiver for me, Ray. Target Field.
Yep, absolutely. It is a beautiful facility right downtown Minneapolis. Walking distance to hotels and a lot of activity downtown.
Lowry hits one in the air to right field, and it's hit pretty well. Cave, though, backs up. And he makes the catch. That's a 3-up, 3-down inning for the rookie Cole Stewart. Time for Trevor Cahill to get to work. Their starting lineup brought to you by Southwest Airlines, and here it is: Mauer, Forsythe, Rosario, Polanco, Kepler, Grossman, Cave, Adrianza, and Wilson.
Trevor Cahill starting for the Athletics, and as we detailed his numbers, he's had a lot of success, unfortunately, and most of that has come at the Coliseum. So he'd like to improve on his road starts. 5-2 record. He has had some starts against the Twins, but last year it was as a relief pitcher for the Kansas City Royals. But Trevor Cahill, if he can throw the curve, the change, the sinking fastball, use all of his pitches, and especially against the leadoff hitter in Joe Mauer, could be a good night for him.
First pitch to Mauer is a strike. Joe Mauer at 275, 5 homers, 38 RBIs. Hitting in the leadoff spot, and he's been doing that for a while now.
Not your prototypical leadoff hitter. He's not going to steal a lot of bases for sure.
No.
But he will take a lot of pitches. He has a great on-base percentage, and trying to get your leadoff hitter on base, he's a good candidate for that.
Yeah, 352 the on-base percentage, which is pretty good. He's always been able to do that. And now the count 1-2. Forsythe to follow, and then Rosario. Twins are 60-66. Their master plan was that they were going to compete with the Cleveland Indians in the American League Central, but that has not been the case. They have had a very, very strange season.
Good man in Paul Molitor, their manager. Got a 3-year contract extension last year.
Here's Molly. Quick look at the A's defense behind Trevor Cahill. It has Martini, Laureano, and Piscotti in the outfield. Chapman, Simeon, Lowry, and Olson on the infield with Jonathan Lucroy behind the plate. 2-2 pitch to Mauer, foul back. Twins have been a pretty good home team this year. They're 38-26 at home, but just 22-40 on the road. So that's a pretty good home record, 38-26. It's not one of the best records, but
you said it's top 5 for you, maybe top 1 for them. This would be a nice part to come play every day.
Yeah. Lowry backhands, straightens up, and throws out Joe Mauer. So that is out number 1. But the American League Central, it's a one-team show now with the Cleveland Indians marching to the postseason.
Well, Paul Molitor said exactly what you talked about, that after last year going to postseason, they thought they were going to build on something, but it just goes to show you how year to year it can change. And as a result, they traded away some key players. But the one nice thing, Paul Molitor, he was inducted in 2004 in Cooperstown. He was saying for the first time in a long time since he's been managing that he got a chance to go back to Cooperstown for the induction ceremonies. Of course, good friends, and played ball against Jack Morris, and Alan Trammell, of course, played against him. And Jack Morris in amateur baseball growing up with the Twin Cities. But for Paul to go back and represent the Twins, see those guys, said it's a 24-hour trip, but at least he got a chance to go, and pretty special for him.
1-1 to Logan Forsythe. Combined numbers with the Dodgers and the Twins. He's hit well with the Twins. Did not really hit very well with the Dodgers, but a .377 hitter in a Twins uniform. But going back to last year, the Twins were 85-77.
Yep.
And that was good enough to be the second wild card team. They lost the wild card game in New York, 8-4 to the Yankees. But they felt like they had something to build on, and how could you not feel that way after going to the postseason, even though it was just the wild card game? But that coupled with a lot of young talent, hey, Twins were ready to roll this year.
Pitch that Trevor Cahill does not get a lot of sync on, and that's a pitch up, and ball did run in on Forsythe, but he beat it off him, got up the middle, but he wants to get the pitch down. Trevor does. Instead, that pitch is up and up the middle for a base hit. Like one of the things the Twins in first inning, Irvin Santana on the mound, they had a 2 or 3 nothing lead before.
Somebody had a home run, I think, early on in that game.
They had the lead, but Santana gave it up quickly, and the Yankees went on to win.
Here's Eddie Rosario. He hits one in the air to shallow left. That's Martini hustling in, and he's got it. But boy, it just has not gone as planned. If you think about all the different things that have happened, we're not even talking about the trades that were made, because those trades were kind of made after the fact, where the team wasn't going to make it. But Jason Castro, knee surgery, out for the year. Polanco early in the year gets an 80-game suspension. Buxton
is
not even here.
Shock. And Sano's not even playing.
And Sano's not playing. And Sano spent some time in the minor leagues this year. I mean, you think about just those things that were just mentioned. None of that was planned. And then as the season has gone on, the Twins have traded a whole bunch of people.
Cap, as we talked before the game, looking at the cover, their media guy, had their manager in the middle of Buxton and Dozier, platinum Gold Glove winner, and the Gold Glove winner at second for Dozier, platinum for the center fielder Buxton. He's all over the place. Tremendous speed and could play center.
This is Jorge Polanco, the shortstop. And Dozier traded. Eduardo Escobar, very good player, traded to the Diamondbacks. Those are just position players.
Right. And he's got Fernando Rodney.
But they traded Phil Hughes, Ryan Presley, Eduardo Escobar, Zach Duke, Lance Lynn, Brian Dozier, and Fernando Rodney. All within, the last couple months.
Yeah.
Phil Hughes was traded pretty early on in May. 1-2 to Jorge Polanco. A little bit low. Well, you hate to do that if you're the Twins, trade those guys, but it probably is the right thing to do.
Well, I was told by one of the Twins representatives that if Buxton and Sano don't really cash in the chips, it could be another 4 or 5 years for the Twins, because they're putting a lot of emphasis on those two players to be the leaders of this club.
2-2 pitches, bounce foul. Sano has played 60 big league games this year, Ray. Buxton, 28.
That's amazing.
And
that is hard to believe.
Very talented young players that are still trying to kind of put it all together.
Miguel Sano, we saw him hit a ball in a restaurant.
Yeah, still going.
Somebody got a baseball for lunch or dinner or dessert. But he is a strong young man, but evidently he's trying to hit every ball 600 feet.
In the dirt, and he went. So Polanco is called out on the swing, and Cahill, it's his first strikeout, no score after 1.
Price for $49.99. Watch every out-of-market regular season game, plus get a free subscription to MLB At Bat Premium. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv to take advantage of this special offer. Tony Oliva. Tony Oliva could do it all. He's analyst.
What'd you throw him, Ray? What were you calling?
Knock him down. Now, you know one thing he did, I was talking to him today and reminded him, and he would waggle his bat. He'd keep the bat almost pointing at the pitcher. And he actually knocked my catcher's mitt off the first time because he'd bring the bat back to get himself ready. Like
right
KD.
Center. And that baby's gone.
Wow. And just like that. I wonder what Tony O said about that.
It hit off the facing of that advertising panel between the lower deck and the upper deck in right field.
Well, a swing, that fastball, you do that at 92, and this is going to be the result. Right center field, and Chris Davis doing what he does so well. You're right, off of the facing of the second deck. And you know who that might help more than anybody? It's the guy we were talking about, Miguel Sano.
Maybe. So he now leads not just the American League, but the major leagues in home runs. Does Chris Davis? That was number 39.
Because Miguel Sano, if he tries to pull everything, and he could see what Chris Davis, who is not as big as he is, and as someone said, pound for pound as strong as anybody in baseball, and you're looking at him right there in Chris Davis. But if Sano did that, who knows what the young man could do.
Absolutely.
But this is a great swing. That's a pitch, middle of the plate away, and he does this off the facade of the second deck. And the right field, center field look at it and goes, can you believe that? He makes this park small.
That one is drilled to left center field, and that's going to shoot through all the way to the wall. Matt Olson's going to have a double. So a homer and a double for the A's to open up the second inning.
And if you're facing a pitcher for the first time, what better way to attack him than going opposite field? Chris Davis did it, and now with his pitch away, Matt Olson does the same thing going to left center. And with his power, explosion off the bat, ball shot into left center. They're playing him to right, and there he goes to left center. And that ball is going to go to the wall regardless. So opposite field double, opposite field home run. And he's doing exactly what you should do against a pitcher that they don't know.
Here's Piscotty, who takes the first pitch strike. .396 feet was the estimated distance of that home run by Chris Davis.
Did it break that sign out there?
Busted it.
Because it was hit hard enough to do some serious damage. Roy Smalley, who's working with Dick Bremer on the TV side for the Twins and talking about Sano, and if they're watching that man, and you see the stylish belt that he had on, that's something that they're going to wear for the Players Weekend. Steve Vucinich, longtime clubhouse manager, equipment manager, said the players can wear the belt as much as they want. Chris Davis said, I'm going to keep mine. I'm going to wear it all the time.
Why not?
There it is. KD, you can do anything you want. Hit balls like that.
1-2 to Piscotty, hitting .257 with 16 home runs and 55 RBIs.
Hard to believe they're shading him to the left side where he's thinking about going to the right side to advance Olson. He's got a huge hole on the right side of the infield to do that should he desire to try to go to right field.
Olson's going to get to third on his own as the ball bounced away from Bobby Wilson. So that's a break for the Athletics.
Well, a hard slider, and Bobby Wilson going out as well as he could. Doing a good job trying to at least block it. He got a glove on it, but hit so hard that it carried to the left. And Matt Olson, always a good base runner. As he took the secondary lead, got to third. Infield will play back.
Bounce to short. They don't get the run home. Polanco backs up and he's going to quickly throw to first. They get Piscotty, but Piscotty gets the RBI, and the A's get a 2-0 lead.
That's just good execution by the Athletics. So the Olson with a double, getting to third base, and then just put the ball in play. When you see the infield back, that's all you want to do. Just put it in play, and it's a run for the Athletics and an RBI for Piscotty.
So RBI number 56. And here's Marcus Semien.
Well, see the infield back, and just a ground ball. Really could have gone anywhere. And Olson going on contact with the infield back, and he's able to score easily. Okay, but I think that's one part of the A's game, and it's good to see them get the runner in. Because yesterday, for example, Matt Chapman got to third, nobody out, couldn't score. Didn't score.
I mean, I think they've gotten a little bit better at it, but still, as we like to say, if you're going to make noise in October,
that's right.
You better get them all home.
Yeah, the little things have to be done. You're exactly right. The little things, because those situations that that come up like that, because you get to postseason when you're playing the best.
That's a fair ball. Grianza's throw in time, and it looked like Semien was safe just from the naked eye up here.
And Bob Melvin's going to say, let's take a look. So Adam Roden, who is not that far behind. Yeah, they said take a look at it. Ryan Christensen immediately from Adam Roden. Yeah, you're right, Kai. From up here, it looked like he was safe. Tough play for the third baseman because it was a fair ball. But Semien looked like he was clearly across the bag. Joe Mauer stretching as well as he could. Oh, yeah.
Well, it's going to be an infield hit for Marcus Semien. This should not take long. It should take probably 3 to 4 seconds.
Yesterday one took 30 seconds, which was fast. But you know the thing about what the third baseman Adrianza did there? You see how he circled around the ball and then threw. Now they're going to come out quickly with this one.
So he's safe. It's a hit for Semien.
But you know, the A's, and we've gotten spoiled watching Chapman charge a ball and then throw him with a strong arm. Adrianza had to go around it, and all the time that he took to get to the ball might have helped Semien get out of the box quicker and get down the line.
So 3 hits in the inning. Here's Ramon Laureano. Laureano was 4 for 12 in that series against the Texas Rangers. He's winning 2 out of 3. Of course, he had the 2-homer, 5 RBI game.
Well, he got a chance to hit second. Chris, yesterday Jed Lowry was out of the game as a planned day off, so he hit second with Chapman hitting third. Now back down, hitting 8th tonight.
Swing and a miss.
Well, here's your StatCast, and it's a long opposite field, 102 off the bat, 30 degrees, 396 feet off of the facade of the second deck, and I tell you, he is a strong young man.
StatCast AI powered by AWS. Inside. So 1-2 to Laureano. Davis now with 103 RBIs.
I think your point at the beginning, talking back to studio about teams that you don't always go and say we are going to beat, but you should beat. And this is a series that, you know, you have a team that's trying to rebuild a little bit. The A's put on a special run since your beginning of the season, June 16th, which I think is one of the best statements I've heard all year.
Yeah.
But I mean, you think about the 2 teams that are playing this weekend, and you can't take anything for granted. But you have to play your normal baseball. You get your good pitching, you get your defense and your offense. You play like you're playing the Astros or the Mariners, teams that you're chasing or chasing you.
Laureano strikes out, and that's the second out here in the second inning. Look at this painting. That's pretty good.
That is great. Look at the veins in the neck. You see that? Whoa. Excited. It's a great paint.
Yeah, but you know, I think people need to understand too, when we say that about a series, it's not being disrespectful to the Twins.
Not. No.
It's really just, if you're going to get to the postseason, and that's what the A's obviously trying desperately to do, then this is a series where you quite frankly you should win 3 out of 4.
Exactly. I agree 100%. There's no disrespect. If you're in a Major League uniform, you're a Major League Baseball team. You might not have as much experience. In the case of this pitcher, just his 3rd start. Cahill faced the goes back to 2010, 2012 when he faced the Twins here. So he's had the experience. This young man on the mound is gaining the experience.
0-1 to Jonathan Lucroy. Swing and a miss. 0-2. Lucroy 240 with a couple of home runs and 40 RBIs.
It's a good start for Trevor Cahill, getting through the 1st inning and also getting a couple of run support in the 2nd.
Lucroy chases and he strikes out, but good inning for the A's. They get a couple of runs. The first run coming on Chris Davis's 39th home run of the year. Bottom of the 2nd coming up. 2-0 A's. California.com, and the NBC Sports app, presented by your NorCal Honda dealers. 2-0 the A's lead, bottom of the second inning. It'll be Kepler, Grossman, and Cave.
This is a young man that we have always liked since he came to the big leagues. Playing right field, now playing center.
17 home runs this year for Kepler.
Got a pretty good threat right in the middle of the lineup for the Twins. It's a young player they could build on, build with for the future.
Hit 19 home runs last year, 17 the year before. 32 doubles last year. Just missed a little bit inside. So now 3-1 to Kepler. Robbie Grossman, the DH. Lowry with a nice play. Ranging to his left, takes a hit away from Kepler, 1 out.
Well, you mentioned the range, and that is key for Jed Lowry. Look where he's playing. And of course, Trevor Cahill's a ground ball pitcher, and he anticipated, maybe broke a little bit once he saw the location of the pitch. Left-handed hitter, able to get to the ball, make a nice 360, and easy throw to his first baseman. Jed's playing outstanding defense. Of course, we know what he's done offensively, and this entire defense on the infield has been spectacular all season.
So 0-1 to Robbie Grossman. Each hitter has seen a first pitch strike from Trevor Cahill.
It's not just been the fastball either. He's throwing his curve and change up first pitches. Of course, it's a good sinker.
4 home runs and 35 runs batted in for Grossman. Switch hitter. Grossman was with the Astros for a while. This is his 3rd year here in Minnesota. Just foul.
I was going to say is with the Astros when they were the Astros.
Yep.
They weren't winning a lot when he was there. Nothing to do with him personally, but they are winning now. He's playing very well.
With the Astros in 13, 14, and 15, part of that time in the big leagues. Payoff pitch, here it is, towards center. Laureano had it, and he left it on the ground. So he went into a slide. Let's see how much glove he got on it.
Fortunate enough to keep it close to him, but looked like as he went in backhand, jammed his hand into the ground, and when he did that, actually got just enough to block it so it didn't get by him, and able to find it.
It never really went into his glove.
No, he never did. Try to take it to the side and see how he does set up to the side a little bit as he takes off.
So it's a base hit, excuse me, Ray.
No, he's just thinking fast, and that's probably created everything for him. At the point of Trevor Cahill throwing first pitch strikes again, now 7 in a row, but 3-1 to Kepler, 3-2 to Grossman.
This is Jake Cave. He's playing right field tonight. Shoots that one to the left side, foul. Twins are 9th in the American League in runs scored. They're 12th in home runs. So not a big home run hitting team. They're 13th in the league in stolen bases, so they don't do a whole lot of that either. Cave swings and misses.
Well, the string nicely on that. You can see the swing, trying to hold up, did Cave, but had already committed. That's a great pitch. 86. The ball went straight down. It's coming out of his hand with a changeup, and that's kind of the half swing by Cave. Figure 0-2, it's not going to be the type of pitch you would throw, but you throw it in that location, it's a great pitch.
Adrianza hits one very high, right center field, but playable as Laureano gets back. He's got it, side retired. Hitting a runner left. We're through 2 from Target Field. 2-0 A's.
A's Baseball on NBC Sports California is brought to you by SoFi, a modern finance company.
Two nothing. The A's lead the Twins. They tell us there's a lot of lakes here in the great state of Minnesota.
You know,
I think that's why the Lakers are called the Lakers. And they moved.
You know, we were talking about it yesterday. It said something about 10,000 lakes, and I looked up, there's over 11,000, and said so much for the license plate. Let's change all it because this is the land of 10,000 lakes.
Yeah.
Change the license plate.
They're shortchanging their state.
Some beautiful lakes here. Used to do a lot of great fishing in Twin Cities with the A's back in the 70s. The late Paul Lindblad would always arrange it. And he had a different lake every morning. I said, it's 5 o'clock, it's too early to get up to go fishing. We did it anyway, though.
Well, it gets a little chilly here in the wintertime, as you may expect. So you got to have your outdoor fun in the summertime.
That's right. Terry Steinbach would always go ice fishing.
That concerns me. I like Terry a lot. He's a smart man. He's a good guy. He was a terrific player. But ice fishing?
But you know, Kai, he told me, and I thought the same thing, but they put the sheds out there. They have heaters. They have TVs. And it's kind of the fishing's a byproduct of having a good time.
You know what else has? You know what else is enclosed with a heater, Ray? My house.
So you don't like ice fishing, huh? You drop the lake, you know. I agree. I couldn't do it either. First of all, I wouldn't trust that the lake is frozen.
Somebody told me one time it's fun to do with your buddies.
Yeah.
You know what's fun to do with your buddies in the winter? You go to Arizona and play golf. That's what you
Yeah, if you have to bundle up too much like that, yeah, that's not fun. Maybe Steiner would drop by and see us. He's living in the Twin Cities of New Ulm. He's from there. Maybe we could get him to come by and talk about ice fishing.
0-2 to Matt Chapman, who popped out in the first inning. Martini with a leadoff walk here in the third. .46 pitches for Cole Stewart. Young man making just his third major league start.
As I mentioned, a good experience for this young man, but in a sense, Trevor Cahill was without a job in spring training. And so what he's doing this year is kind of revitalizing himself, even though he's got major league experience.
That one bounced to the right side, and that's going to be a base hit. Martini is going to hold up at second.
That's a good idea.
He had an idea that he wanted to go, and then right at the last second, he put the brakes on after touching second base.
Well, Matt Chapman waits so long at the plate. That's a 95-mile-an-hour fastball, and for the life of me, sometimes when you have shifts, the guy's throwing 95, and Nick Martini looking. How about looking at Matt Williams? You know, don't look back. I mean, maybe by looking back, he realized he's not going to run, but I think Matt Williams would also been putting up both hands, because Matty definitely knows the outfielder's arm strength.
So here's Jed Lowry. So good shot for the Athletics. 2 on, nobody out, with Lowry, Davis, and Olsen coming up. Lowry hit a fly ball to right field in the first inning. A's went 3 up, 3 down in the first, but then scored a couple in the second.
Well, the A's have 4 hits, Kipe. 3 of those hits have gone to the opposite field. And that's good hitting, good approach. Especially with 2 strikes.
Throw back to second, and Martini gets back. Looked like probably a planned play.
Yeah. Bobby Wilson said, as a backup catcher, he does 3 things. He catches the ball, he throws the ball, and he blocks the ball. And he said, that's all I want to do. He says, if I do anything hitting, it's a bonus. As we saw him when he was with the Angels. But a very good backup catcher. He knows his role and basically knows what he has to do.
Strike on the outside corner, 2-1 to Lowry. Foul back. See the list of Oakland A's hitters, Ray, switch hitters that have hit 20 or more home runs in a season. It's a very short list.
That's right.
Coco, Ruben Sierra did it twice. Nick Swisher did it 3 times. Coco did it once. That's it. Jed Lowry sitting at 19.
That's right.
So switch hitters in Oakland A's history to hit 20 or more home runs in a season.
And for Jed, already a career high at 19.
Strike 3 called on the outside corner.
Our time now for Built for Baseball, brought to you by T-Mobile. How about this shot? And of course, you can make a long distance call on this one, because this went a long distance to right center field. KD running hard out of the batter's box, and it says a lot about his desire, but also he shuts it down with a trot after he realizes the ball went as far as it did. But great shot by the man, KD, who had that nice painting by the gentleman. 39 home runs for KD, 1 away for 40 in 3 consecutive years.
And a mighty swing. He fouls it just over to our right. Nice play by a fan. The fan's pretty close to us on our level, just below us as we sit in the press box. There it is.
And right field Will from the Coliseum is back there somewhere, because he's not in right field tonight. He said he'd be there over the weekend.
it's like this in Texas.
Yeah.
San Francisco. The folks are right down in front of us. Sometimes they yell stuff up. Sometimes it's really nice. Other times it's just not very nice and our feelings are hurt. Not really. Where does Chris Davis hit his home runs?
Yeah, that says it all right there.
14 to right field.
I was just looking, Cap. I've got 10 hitting in the month of August. 6 have gone to center or to right field. The other 4 to left center. I mean, it's rare when we see him hit a ball down the left field line. It's just one of those that maybe straight away left field, left center, all the way to the right field foul pole.
Yeah, you think of right-handed, the big power hitters, Stanton, and they go on and on. You see a lot of balls down the left line, but if you also think about Stanton and J.D. Martinez and Chris Davis, they hit a lot of balls to right. Aaron Judge,
yeah,
a lot of balls to
Yankee
right.
Stadium. They talk about left-handed hitters; those right-handers love it.
Yep.
They can just chip shot. But you talk about a great approach, and nice talking about Chris Davis home runs, but also talking about the fact that he's a complete player. Because we've seen the second baseman where the second base is playing now 4 side. Usually there's 3 to the right side or the left side. Now they're playing a little bit more straight up on the right side because of his ability to hit the ball to the right side.
So full count with 1 out. Martinez at second, Chapman at first. So pretty good speed out there for the A's.
That's why Bobby Wilson was looking in the dugout, not giving signs where he's going to throw the ball. Should they run on the 3-2?
Runner's not going, and Davis swings and misses. 94 miles an hour from Stewart, so he bounces back to strike out Lowry and Davis.
Fastball down the middle. Sometimes the best pitch is that pitch.
Had just a little bit of that late movement.
Yeah.
So 2 outs, it's up to Matt Olson. Olson doubled and scored in the second. Double for Olson, his 27th of the year.
You're right. He's got it there, and it's almost kind of a hesitation by Chris Davis.
Yeah, when you look at the last 2 replays, which are really good looks, he was late.
Yeah,
maybe looking for something else.
Good bet.
As you can see, the ball was by him, and that does not happen very often to Chris Davis.
Statue outside the target field here of the great Hall of Famer Rod Carew. Played very well here for the Twins, the old Met.
Check it out.
Yeah.
Watch the ball.
Yeah, you're right. It's by.
Yeah, and you hardly ever see that with Chris Davis. So it tells me he may have been looking slider or change or something off speed.
The pitcher, Stewart, called the catcher out. Now the second baseman's in, and that's Mike Aldretti talking to KD.
Well, Tim Timmons has to do something here. He's just standing there. I don't know, is there an injury? No.
But Rod Carew, I always say, Rod, I'm going to call a pitch right down the middle. And sometimes that's the best pitch because if you pitch him away, it goes left field, it goes, the other way. But Rod Carew was a master. I mean, he was the best at hitting a pitch where it was thrown. And I said, Rod, here it comes right down the middle. Try to do something with that. That's his statue outside the Hall of Famer.
Flick it to right field.
That's it. That's all he would do. He had power to hit out as many as he wanted to, but he just flicked the ball 3,000 plus times.
2-0 to Olson. Swing and a miss. Check this Rod Carew swing. What a unique swing.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that was just all wrist, hands. Great speed, had the power. 29 retired here in Minnesota with a statue. There it is.
Flick it.
Yeah, just flick it and run.
And now 2-2. Well, if Stewart gets out of this inning, Ray, be a little momentum builder for him.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, especially gets struck out. Lowry struck out Davis. Lowry 2-2 with a fastball away. KD with a 3-2 fastball towards the middle with a little late movement. Being evaluated by the Hall of Famer, Paul Moulton.
Stewart picks it up, underhands to first, and he does get out of this jam. So the A's strand a pair. There is the very unique stance of one, Mr. Rod Carew.
A's Baseball on NBC Sports California is brought to you by the Chrysler Pacifica Hybrid, America's first hybrid minivan. Test drive one today.
There's a nice look outside of Target Field. Inside, the A's leading 2-0, bottom of the third inning. It'll be Bobby Wilson, Joe Mauer, and Logan Forsythe.
Trevor Cahill 9 for 9 with first pitch strikes. I asked Bobby Wilson, I said, Bobby, I remember when you were at the Angels, were you the catcher that Mike Scioscia would have you bunt with the runner at first and one out? He said, all the time.
Thanks a lot, Mike. Super playing for you, buddy.
But he said, because he was afraid I'd hit into a double play if he let me swing. But I remember that at the Coliseum. I said, what is going on? But Mike Scioscia, and Bobby confirmed, he says all the time. I mean, just he.
Confidence builder.
Yeah, I mean, but you know, you think about National League when pitchers are hitting, there's a runner first and one out, they bunt. But here's Bobby Wilson, a hitter, was doing it. But he said, when he just dropped it all the time on me, I said, okay, it wasn't just that one time. That's straight up defense there, all the way around.
Man, it almost hit him. 2-2 the count.
Yeah, I don't see how this avoided. The breaking ball didn't break, and
and he missed outside, and Bobby Wilson, a 178 hitter, and the 9th place hitter with a leadoff walk.
Mike Scioscia should have more confidence in it.
That's right. Interesting note here on Trevor Cahill. Secondary stuff. That means anything that's not a fastball. Okay, look at the usage. Previous 4, last 4. So he's increased the non-fastball pitches. And what it has done, it has increased his strikeout percentage. Now, we showed you highlights from his last start against the Houston Astros, where Trevor Cahill was terrific. He had 7 strikeouts in 7 innings. And what jumped out at me, Ray, he has had some strikeouts this year with his changeup, but I thought it was his curveball.
Yeah, you're right.
Remember, he had the start earlier this year where he struck out 12. That was against the Orioles, and his changeup was terrific. But he's starting to snap off a pretty good curveball, and that wasn't what Trevor Cahill had 5, 6, 7 years ago.
Absolutely. No, and Brett Anderson kind of the same with his changeup. But you're right about Scott Emerson's done a good job with these guys, the reclamation projects, and doing quite well. And now he needs the sinker to try to get a ground ball to get Joe Mauer to hit into the double play.
Joe Mauer takes low. So now it's 3-0. Trevor Cahill does not walk a lot of guys. Now just to Jonathan Lucroy. And it's a 4-pitch walk.
Well, let's hope what you said is not true, but there's a lot of truth to it. And Scott Emerson's going to visit with Trevor Cahill, but with Stewart getting the first 2 runners on base and then getting the 3, 4, 5 hitters out of the Athletics. And now 2 walks from Trevor Cahill. Well, before you agree to another Labor Day barbecue, make sure you grab your tickets for the hottest team in baseball as the A's host the Yankees for a 3-game set in Oakland. Come to the ballpark to see Matt Chapman, Jed Lowry, and the best bullpen in the business to pin the Bay from the Bronx Bombers. Grab your tickets to this key series starting September the 3rd at athletics.com/pinstripes. That's athletics.com/pinstripes. Labor Day, big game at the Coliseum. Should be a fun time. The Yankees in town following the Mariners. Long homestand with the Rangers coming in after those 2 teams.
10-gamer.
Yep.
10-gamer in September. How about that?
Yeah. At home. Perfect.
American League wild card. The A's are the 2nd wild card team right now, trailing the Yankees, the 1st wild card team, by 3.5. The Mariners are 4.5 behind the A's for that 2nd wild card spot. A's are thinking bigger. They are 1 game back in the AL West. Nice to have a fallback plan, but the division is what it's all about right now. We do not have any scoreboard watching going on tonight, Ray, which is disappointing. Astros are off. They will be at the Angels this weekend, so starting tomorrow night, that'll be a late game.
Well, they can watch the A's, and the A's hope to cut it in half before tomorrow night.
1-1 the count to Logan Forsythe. Rosario is the on-deck hitter. Could be 2. Out at second, on to first, double play. So a huge double play by Trevor Cahill, and just like that, there are 2 outs.
Well, Cap, one of the great things about Trevor Cahill, strikeouts, yes, but he's always got in his back pocket this little 2-seamer. I'd say 1-1 pitch, 2-seamer, tailor-made 6-4-3 double play. 2 hops to Semien, on to Jed Lowry and to first base, and that quickly, 2 walks, 1 ground ball, and you get 2 outs.
It's the Mike Scioscia theory, right? Should have bunted.
Well, I'm surprised there isn't more, to be honest. Especially, I mean, yeah, first and second, you're down by 2. I don't care. I just.
Right field, Piscotty's not going to be able to get it. And it's going to be a 2-out RBI hit by Eddie Rosario. So, Twins get a big hit.
Yeah, that is a big hit.
Wilson trots in to score, and now it's 2-1. Kind of got out there and hooked it into right field.
In the first pitch, and wanted to go outside a little bit more, left it inside, and there's a changeup first pitch. And while the one that he struck out, Cave, on a good 0-2 pitch, first pitch this time left in the middle of the plate.
Eddie Rosario, one of the few Twins that's having a good season. That's his 73rd RBI of the year.
And says a lot. That's 2 pitches for him and 2 at-bats. Fly ball to left field, base hit to right field. But when you walk the 9th place hitter, and especially a guy hitting under 200, you're lucky if you get out of the inning unscathed, but it did not happen.
Here's Polanco. Polanco takes a first pitch strike. Polanco was called out on the swing in the first inning. The A's appealed down to Jansen Visconti, the third base umpire, and he said Polanco went around. Polanco was not happy. In fact, he was having a conversation with Visconti after he got out to his position. Runner goes. Lucroy's throw is not quite in time. Pretty good throw by Luke.
Yeah, considering he did not have much of a chance, and as we've known, watch the jump with a high leg kick by Trevor Cahill. And this is remarkable that it's as close as it is, considering the jump that Rosario got. Really, for him, going straight into the bag, he could have gone to the side of the outfield side if he had seen where Jed Lowry was taking the throw. But quick release by Lucroy, but not much of an opportunity.
Rosario did a bluff move to third, like he was going to steal third.
Well, that's because Chapman's the only one on the left side, and
it's a good bluff. Be careful. 2-1 now to Jorge Polanco.
Well, here's the situation. We've seen it. I can count 3 times that it's happened where a runner at second with 2 outs has stolen third, and Chapman has broken the bag. He cannot leave his position now, considering he's the only one on the left side of the infield. If he goes to third, it vacates the inside. Wow.
Base hit right center field. This game's going to be tied. So the stolen base by Rosario helps the Twins tie it up, and a couple of big 2-out RBI hits for Minnesota. That one, it just found the hole through the shift.
And you get a double play, and then you give up 2. And there's a sinker down at 92. Not a bad pitch from Trevor Cahill, but with the shift to the right side, and there's your positioning. And sitting in the outfield, but with the stolen base, it was going to be an easy run.
Here's Kepler. Kepler bounces it right to Olsen, steps on the bag side, retired. 2 runs on 2 hits and 2 walks. So we are all tied at 2.
Select dates can participate in the 50/50 raffle presented by Sutter Health. Tickets are sold from gates opening through the last out of the 6th inning from raffle sellers or at the kiosk, section 217. The winner will be announced in game and receive 50% of the jackpot, with the remainder benefiting the A's Community Fund. It's always a lot of fun to hear Dick Callahan announce the amount and the winning ticket at the Coliseum.
The great Dick Callahan.
A great one, absolutely. Nobody greater than Dick Callahan.
He was great with the Warriors too, wasn't
Yeah, absolutely. Got that great voice. Matter of fact, when Steve Sparks and the Astros were in town, he saw Dick Callahan. He says, "Hey Dick, I'm gonna get on the team bus and we're gonna ride home safely." Dick
right.
always tells the fans when they leave, drive home safely.
he? See, we missed that at
Absolutely.
Oracle Arena. Piscotty hits one in the air right center. Kepler went back. Now he comes hustling in and he makes the catch. So out number one. So let's see how the young man Cole Stewart handles the ball game now being tied at 2. Here's a good look at Target Field. Opened back in 2010. So this is its 9th year already. Metrodome for 28 years. The Met, Ray, from
That's right.
61 to 81. You played at the Met.
Yes, I did. Tony Oliva threw me out. Trying to score from second. I remember it distinctly. But Twin Cities, you got.
I think I may have seen you play at the Met. I want to say I went there with the family, maybe 76.
Yeah.
Because I remember being amazed at the double-deck bleachers out in left field, which was huge, but it was there for football.
Football Vikings played there. And all the seats in left field in the upper deck were painted for every long shot that Harmon Killebrew had.
So I don't remember how. I remember them being really big, but so you could hit one in the upper deck.
Oh, Harmon Killebrew did it all the time. Yeah, exactly. And I used to run the stairs, and I'd sit in those seats, and I'd say, "Wow."
Metropolitan Stadium.
Oh, this is one of the best here.
28 years in the Metrodome.
3, 2, 1.
The Hawk. And there it goes.
I take it Hawk didn't like the Metrodome.
No, he did.
Probably had some tough losses there.
Wow.
Not an easy place to play though, right? For visiting teams.
No. As the great late Bill King used to say, the translucent roof. And it would get a lot of outfielders. I mean, that's one place you couldn't take your eye off the ball. If you ran for a foul ball or a fly ball, forget it. You had no chance to pick it up. So Bobby Wilson made a trip to the mound last inning. Brought in Forsythe, the second baseman. Now Polanco's going to come in. And this isn't getting permission. This is the veteran catcher really taking charge with his youngster and trying to. Well, they're going to get somebody up in the bullpen. Garvin Alston, the former bullpen coach for the Athletics, is a pitching coach.
Well, sometimes those conversations, I would guess, can be pretty easily deciphered. We just tied the game.
Yeah, exactly. Great point.
Throw a strike. See what happens with Ramon Laureano. 1-0 the count. On the ground. Diving play by Polanco and safe at second. Forsythe tried everything in his power to keep his foot on the bag. He just couldn't do it. What a play by Polanco.
Yeah, he tried a bare hand, and now, Bobby Wilson.
Bobby Wilson, the catcher.
He was going to go back up thinking it's going to be a double play.
And he, right near the on-deck circle, he just went down, and now the training staff is looking at it.
You know, Cap, I think maybe what happened, he was thinking it's going to be a base hit, then all of a sudden took off to back up first in case there was going to be a play at first and a double play. But you're right about Forsythe trying everything with a bare hand grab. Nice play, great play by the shortstop Polanco. Could have been first and third. Fortunately, the A's have first and second. The concern is Bobby Wilson, the catcher, and must have like his ankle or his knee. But that you could see initially with the high shot that we had that he stood at home plate, then took off. So might be by taking off as quickly as it did, something happened. That's the key right there. Can he get down? Because if it's his knee or if it's foot, being able to get down in the catching position. As he also said, Kite, it's what we do. Take foul balls, whether hitting or catching. I'm not surprised he's staying in the game. Pain threshold on a 10 scale, 10. I mean, there's nothing in the 0 or 5. Josh Begley said when he got hit in the face by Marcus Semien, that line drive, that was on Friday, he said, no more than I catch, you're not going to keep me out of the game. Bobby Wilson saying the same thing.
So it goes as a hit for Laureano, 2 on 1 out, as Jonathan Lucroy steps up. Pickoff, and Forsythe was about 5 feet from the bag.
Don't go too far, it's a trip. Well, you can see Forsythe doesn't move. Unfortunately, from Stewart's standpoint, he threw to Forsythe instead of throwing in the bag, which normally you do. That's a veteran walking in, I guess, as far as he could without the second base umpire. Mike Winter said, "It's enough, far enough."
First pitch to Lucroy. Strike at the knees, right in the corner. Lucroy struck out in the second. 4 strikeouts for Stewart. He's walked 2. And thrown a lot of pitches. 76 with 1 out in the 4th inning. Foul back. Ball ricochets and bounces up the third base line a little bit. So now Luke is behind in the count 0-2.
Well, everything he has seen in his 2 at-bats, a total of 5 pitches, and all been outside. So the numbers with runners in scoring position have been pretty impressive for the A's catcher this year.
He's had a lot of big hits from the bottom of the order.
I think the impressive thing about Jonathan Lucroy, his ability to drive in runs with doubles. And people say about losing home run power. Well, you can drive in runs with singles and doubles. You don't have to hit home runs.
And he got him swinging. Took a little off. So Lucroy strikes out for the 2nd time.
Well, went slider towards the middle of the plate, and there it is. He ended up down, maybe out of the strike zone, but good enough spin in the middle of the plate.
Well, now it's up to Nick Martini. Martini, a ground out and a walk. A's need a 2-out hit. Twins got a couple of them in the bottom of the 3rd to tie up the game, and the A's could use one here. A little bit outside. He's had an opportunity in the 3rd with 2 on and nobody out. Here in the 4th, 2 on 1 out, but Lucroy could not get a run home. A little bit outside. So Stewart trying to get the call, but Pitchcast says it's a little bit outside.
Well, remember in the 1st inning, throwing a nice 3-2 sinking fastball. That pitch that he just threw didn't have any sink on it, and may be tiring a little bit. It's going to make his 83rd pitch.
Sliced foul. Well, Stewart's first 2 starts in the big leagues, 74 pitches, 65 pitches, 4 1/3 inning, 2 2/3 innings.
Yeah.
So he's up past his high mark in the first 2 starts. Yeah, mostly high stress pitches, especially in the second, third, and here in the fourth. Just missed again outside. It is not a strike.
Now this ball just kept moving away, and Bobby Wilson tried to bring it back, but clearly outside part of the plate, off the plate.
Simeon at second, Laureano at first, lots of speed, and they will take off on the 3-2 pitch. Popped up left field. Rosario now backs up, still going back, and he makes the catch. So the A's threaten do not score. Bottom of the fourth coming up.
Sports California is brought to you by the Chrysler Pacifica Hybrid, America's first hybrid minivan. Test drive one today.
2-2 game, the A's and the Twins. 4 here in Minneapolis and then 3 in Houston for this road trip for the Athletics. The A's a very good 37-25 on the road. So Grossman, Cave, and Adrianza to face Trevor Cahill. So Astros not playing tonight. Mariners are off as well. Mariners will be in Arizona this weekend to take on the Diamondbacks. The Yankees are off today. The Yankees will be in Baltimore for the weekend. Yankees still have 6 games left with the Red Sox right at the end of the year.
Yes, they do. The 3 at the Coliseum, assuming everything remains the way it is right now as far as the closeness between the 2 teams. Those could be 3 big games.
Absolutely.
They're going to be big games regardless, but it'd be nice, of course, from the A's standpoint, to play well against teams that are, in the case of the Yankees, probably going to win 100 games and not win the division. The A's just continue to play good baseball, get good starting pitching, which they have been lately, combined with an outstanding bullpen. Defense is improved. All facets of the game very nicely for the Athletics.
Yeah, there's a lot of different things to look for. Obviously, we always keep an eye on the Astros and the Yankees and the Mariners for obvious reasons. Something else to watch is, you know, if the A's were to win the division and they're only 1 game back, they would probably play the Cleveland Indians in the 5-game division series. So what you'd like to do is have a better record than the Indians, because you would then get home field advantage. You get games 1, 2, and 5 if necessary. Again, it's called a pennant race. It's just something else to watch for. What did the Indians do? What's the Indians' record right now? There's a line drive and a base hit right field. Piscotty cuts it off. Big turn by Cave, and he stops there.
And he got the green light 3-0 from his manager, and I'm sure that's something that Paul Molitor will take note of. There's a fastball. What is he going to do? Takes a 91 heater and smokes it to right field. Fortunately, Piscotty able to get to the ball, cut it off, hold him to just the single. He was thinking 2, but that's his manager right there. As Paul Molitor said, 90 feet on the base hit's a given. It's the next 90 that you could take by aggressively turning the bag and taking advantage of a slight mistake in the outfield. Could be important 90 feet.
So here's Adrianza, who hit a fly ball to center field to end the second. Now the A's right now are 25 games over 500. The Indians are 19 games over 500. So
yeah,
3 games, a 3-game difference. Runner goes and it's rolled foul.
Unfortunately, that was hit and run. I say fortunately because if it was, and Adrianza did a good job of at least making contact, but the base runners are getting good jumps off of Trevor Cahill. You know, Cap, one of the points that about that home field advantage, and that's a great one, especially in a 5-game series, having gained 5. But the fact the A's have been playing well on the road, if they should happen to start on the road, at least that is a positive.
They'd be fine doing that as well.
And that's why it is important to play well away from your home park.
Up the middle, Lowry dives, can't get it. Cave with a big turn, and Laureano showing off that arm, and what a great arm it is.
Yeah, Cap, he did something there also, Laureano did. He charged the ball because usually the ball up the middle, it's going to be first and third, and thought maybe that's exactly what was going to be happening. A pitch that hit hard up the middle. But the fact that it went through, not a bad pitch. There's your ground ball. It just happened to elude Jed Lowry. But look at Laureano charging. Look how quickly he got 360 and then a bullet to third base.
It's pretty impressive.
Yeah, Kay was thinking about going to third. But
so 2 on and 1 out. Ray Garver is going to hit. So this is Bobby Wilson's spot, the catcher. So Wilson is out of the game. This is Mitch Garver, the backup catcher. We hope Bobby Wilson's okay.
Yeah, exactly. And it probably stiffened up the way it did. Not surprising if that were the case. While he stayed in the game.
So Mitch Garver. Swing and a miss, and the count 0-2. Joe Mauer is on deck.
And ideally right now a ground ball double play would be the best because Joe Mauer has been outstanding with runners in scoring position. His numbers are so high, it's just hard to believe somebody could do that.
Fouled just at the plate. A few pinch hitting numbers for Garver, 3 for 7, but 4 strikeouts.
How many 6-4-3 double plays?
Well, we'd like one here.
Love it. And as a ground ball pitcher, as Trevor Cahill is, you just hope the ground balls are close to the infielders and not the one that just eluded Jed Lowry at second.
Laureano hustling back. He's not going to get it. It splits the gap. Cave scores. Adrianza's going to come in to score, and the pinch hitter Garver with a 2-run double.
left the ball up, and you cannot do that to anybody. Trevor Cahill did. Look at the pitch, look at the location, a hanging curveball. And he tried to get the curveball down, but left it in the middle of the plate. And the ball wouldn't even slice back. It kind of went straight and upward a little bit to where Laureano could not get to the ball. That's a gift. You hang a curveball with 2 strikes. That is a gift, and 2 runs able to score easily. Instead of getting the double play ground ball, it gives up a 2-run double. And there's your bottom part of the batting order.
Big time. So here's Joe Mauer, still only 1 out.
It's 3 consecutive hits after the ground ball by Grossman.
And Mauer takes inside. 7 hits now for the Twins, 5 hits for the A's. Up the middle, that's going to be a base hit. Here comes Garver, and he's going to score. So Joe Mauer rolls one up the middle.
Well, he's hitting over 400 with runners in score position. Mauer is, and that was the interesting and the curious part. And Joe Mauer waits well and found the hole up the middle. And with the runner at second base, ball on the ground, he's able to score. I thought maybe it might be a play. But Laureano decided to throw to second, so Scott Emerson on the phone.
So Emilio Pagan is up and throwing. Well, the difference in this game, Ray, runners in scoring position. The A's are 0 for 6. The Twins are 4 for 5.
Yep.
And RBI for Joe Mauer, his 39th. A little bit low. You saw Forsythe's numbers with the Dodgers. Well, how did he become a Twin? Well, Brian Dozier.
Yep.
When Dozier got traded to the Dodgers, Twins got a couple of young players and Logan Forsythe.
It's one of those, we're going to trade our second baseman. We need one back.
That's exactly right. Tap slowly. Chapman's got it. Throws to first. Olson digs it out, and that's the second out. Mauer now at second.
Rosario, who swung at the first pitch in his first at bat, same in his second at bat, comes up with now a runner again in scoring position. He was the culprit last inning. Then after the double play ground ball, Rosario got the base hit. Polanco followed. So probably should be careful with the first pitch.
Rosario with 30 doubles, couple of triples. A very nice season. A little flare coming in is Martini, and he makes the catch. Side retired, but a good inning for the Twins. They get 3 runs on 4 hits and now lead it 5-2.
finish. How about this young man? Gives up 2 runs, settles down, and has pitched outstanding baseball. As a matter of fact, 1 more inning to qualify for a win. He's got 4 innings of very good baseball. Chris Davis home run to right field, and a Piscotty ground ball out to plate the other run for the Athletics, so that's it. He's got out some jams, had 2 runners left on base each of the last 2 innings. So the A's, to win the opener of this series, need to mount a comeback.
So there's the breakdown for Stewart. 5 hits, 2 runs, 5 strikeouts so far. He's got a new catcher as Garver stays in the game.
Yeah, just thinking that sometimes you're pitching to somebody different. In this case, it is Garver after Wilson caught the first 4.
Busenitz is up. Alan Busenitz. So it will not be long before we see the bullpen rip to left. Rosario back, and it bangs off the wall. He picks it up. He throws it in towards second, and Chapman is safe. Rosario played it nicely off the wall. Barehanded it and got it in quickly, but Chapman, with all that speed, has a double.
Well, he jumped on the 2-0 pitch, and you're right, coming back off the wall. But Matt Chapman, with this play by Rosario, had to be thinking round on the bag, but then goes into the head first slide. Unfortunately, as Forsythe tried to make the short hop with the quick tag, did not do it. Great hustle by Matt Chapman. That's what you'd love to see. If the ball had been more of a bounce out in front, might have been a different story, but it handcuffed Forsythe a little bit. First look at Garvin Alston, the pitching coach for Paul Moultrie. With the Rockies. But Matt Chapman's got the speed, high fastball, and top spin, and right there decided he's going to go for 2, and fortunately cut the bag perfectly. And Forsythe with a quick tag couldn't do it.
So 31st double for Chapman.
He's got the complete package.
Yes, he does.
Chapman can do it all in that 5-tool category.
First pitch to Lowry, a little bit outside. Lowry has hit a fly ball to right field, and he has struck out looking. A's are 0 for 6 with runners in scoring position, and they're going to get some shots here in the 5th inning.
That's 5 pitches that Stewart has thrown in this inning, and Paul Moultrie has given him every opportunity there is to finish this inning, at least qualify for the victory should the Twins hang on. But this is a little bit of a developmental process for the Twins.
Hit hard, 1 hop. Forsythe has it. So Lowry is out, but Chapman goes to 3rd, 1 out. So here is an opportunity for Chris Davis.
Well, the infield's going to play back, so as is the case with Piscotty in the 2nd inning, just make contact. And it's another run. A's are down 3, 1 more. They pull within 2, but KD long shot as he did in his first at bat. That'd be nice.
Mighty swing, fouls it right back to the screen. Davis a homer and a strikeout. The home run, 2nd inning, his 39th of the year. He's got 103 RBI. Coming home is Chapman, and he's safe. Stewart was there, but he was a little ways away from home plate. Chapman with a head first slide. He beat the tag, and the run scores. It's 5-3.
And there's no chance for a challenge because Stewart just indicated that he missed it. And this ball was not that far away. Good backhand by Garver, and the high throw, he just never got to the plate. And Chapman, you talk about some daring base running in this inning. getting to second on the double and then scoring on that one. So, I mean, you have to be, and Chris Davis telling him to slide, but Stewart just a little bit late. There's the head first slide, and Chapman both times probably thinking, oh no. But fortunately, gets in and face plant on top of it. You don't have to worry about KD.
So Chris Davis is called out by the home plate umpire. Timmons said he went around. Was waiting for Timmons to appeal down to first, and he didn't. And it was a swing.
I'll be curious to see what umpires see. I guess with the bat crossing the plate, but I don't see how they can see how far the bat's going. Well, you make the call, and in that case, it was the right call. So Matt Chapman running this inning.
Yeah, that's for sure.
We always talk about Ricky runs. Well, that was a Chappie run.
1-0 to Olson. 2-0 to Olson. 97 pitches for Cole Stewart. That one is drilled toward right center field, and nobody's going to get it. It's picked up by Cave. Cave spins around, fires it back in. He overthrows the defender at second, which is Polanco, and Olson has his second double.
And just a nice, easy swing. You think, well, is it going to get out there? That ball's sinking away, and Paul Maltzer's not going to give the young man a chance. He's going to his bullpen. He would rather try to win the game instead of helping this young man get a win. So the Hall of Famer is going to the mound for the bullpen, because with one swing of the bat by Piscotty, it could be a tie game. A's hope that's the case, but it's going to be against a reliever.
So when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your trusted oil change tune-up and repair experts.
California is brought to you by Roaring Camp Railroads, calling all adventurers, explorers, and thrill seekers. Become a member of Roaring Camp's new Kids Club today.
So the A's with a run in here in the fifth and looking for more. It's now 5-3. So Cole Stewart could not get that final out here in the fourth inning, so he goes 4 2/3, or in the fifth inning, excuse me. 7 hits, 6 strikeouts. And it's Alan Buznitz, 3-0 with a 5.17 ERA. First pitch is outside. Buznitz has been up and down 4 times this year between AAA and the big leagues, so he knows that route.
Yeah, his breaking pitch is the curveball. Some have the slider. He's got the sinker to go with the curveball and changeup.
That's a strike, even though it was quite a ways outside. Piscotty 0 for 2. He had an RBI ground out in the second inning. A's with 3 more doubles so far tonight. They have 259 doubles. That's second most in the American League. Not close. 3-1. Kuznets was originally an Angel. The Twins traded Ricky Nolasco to the Angels a couple years ago. Kuznets went from the Angels to the Twins in that deal. And he misses outside, and it's a walk.
A's need one of those patented doubles now, and this is a big field. We saw kind of whenever it first opened, it just seemed like the acoustics and ball never traveled, but it sounded like they did, but they didn't. But that has changed. And the gaps, especially in left center, where Olson has hit his, and also Garver hit his to drive into.
That's a strike. Yeah, center field plays deep. I wouldn't say left field necessarily plays deep. Right field either, but there's a high wall in right field. I think that makes it look like it.
Yeah, straightaway left is okay. It's just left center kind of dart out a little bit.
It's big in a hurry.
It's very big.
Right about where the bullpen start. That's where it gets very, very big.
That red sign. One in left center. Unfortunately for Joe Mauer, the Metrodome, as we always said, that he hit great there because he hit opposite field home runs. Not here.
1-2 the count to Marcus Semien, who's got a single and a walk. Left field shallow. Rosario can't get it. Rosario's throw to the plate is in time.
Wow.
A little deke by Garver. A very close play. The A's may want to take a look. We'll see. But Rosario came up throwing.
And he's already saying yes.
In the air, and Bob Melvin is going to want to look at it. So maybe the A's feel like Olson got in there on the slide.
What a throw. Just a bloop. And this was a 2-out, so Olson was able to run on contact. The hand is what probably, because if his hand with the high throw, see if the hand got there first. Did he ever tag him? If he tagged him, it had been on the head as he went up. See, he goes to the left and tries to get in with his hand. Now Garver thinks he's got him.
Well, the Twins are running off the field, and he is out.
Wow.
So the A's check it. And Olson is called out, and the call stands, and the A's get just the one. It's 5-3.
Well, it's surprising. There's Statcast and a bloop base hit. And the throw, the distance, and threw it at 100 miles an hour as Garver goes up. Watch the helmet. Tag on the helmet before the hand got to the plate. So the home plate umpire, Tim Timmons, watching that, probably saw the helmet be tagged, and evidently the A's saw something differently, but it turned out to be the right call. But a surprise considering 2 outs and a bloop like that. But Rosario showing a very strong arm.
And a quick 0-2 to Jorge Polanco. Kepler to foul, and then Grossman.
Trevor Cahill needs to
5
shut
and
down.
6 hitters. Right ankle sprain for Bobby Wilson.
Yeah.
So played a little bit after that, but he is now out of the game.
He had to have rolled over on it as he went to first base, because maybe he could blame the shortstop for diving and catching the ball and turning. I mean, it wasn't going to be a double play, but just instinctively as a catcher, you go to back up. And evidently he took off too quickly.
In the dirt, Polanco checks his swing. And now full count. 2 strikeouts for Trevor Cahill. He has walked 2.
Cahill might be on a short leash.
Yep.
I mean, considering the A's got another run or one more run to make it a 2-run game, but I don't know if the manager's going to take a chance on 2 men.
Slowly hit. Simeon's going to have to be quick. His throw got him. Marcus Semien with the shift on, playing out in shallow right field a little bit, so he had to really hustle in. And now we'll see if the Twins want to look at it.
Fortunately, Semien catches the ball and throws it quickly. Just bang, bang. And Tim Timmons checking with Paul Molitor. They're going to resume play because it looked like he was out. And on that replay, all right, Kai, what do you do? 6-3 shift with that line? Is that what it is?
4-3 with a line underneath. It's not the official way to do it. I need to know direction of the baseball.
That's a great point. Right now, it's not a problem. Everybody's straight up.
Forget that official stuff. And since I don't have to worry about robbing Marcus Semien of an assist.
Yeah.
Could have been a strike.
It could have.
To Max Kepler, who has grounded out twice.
Well, if that box is right there.
That's a strike.
That is a strike. Front part of the box. Good changeup. Kepler hit it. Might have hit a home run.
So 2-2 now to Kepler. Trevor Cahill has not had a 3-up, 3-down inning tonight. He's had to work extra hard. 81 pitches, and we're here in the 5th inning.
Another changeup.
Down the right field line, but he was out in front. It'll be well fouled.
But you know, the pitch that was not called a strike broke his bat. Kepler did. But then the next pitch was elevated. It was called a strike. Well, you get the strike, but the problem, you prefer to have the pitch down low called and force the hitter to swing at the pitch versus one that's elevated. Because with the new launch angle, guys can take the high pitch, whether it's a fastball changeup or hanging curve as Garver got, and do some serious damage with it. One down low, if they get under it, give them credit, but a lot of times they'll beat the ball to the ground.
Into the dugout. want anything to happen to those guys. Trevor Cahill thought it was strike 3 actually, but it instead is ball 3.
Tim Timmons, as somebody yelled and he pointed inside.
Bounce foul on. Looked like the changeup at 86 miles an hour. So good battle here between Cahill and Kepler. Martini goes back. Martini in front of the wall has it 2 away. Hey, Xfinity X1 customers, make sure you say, "Show me the Oakland A's" in your X1 voice remote and get live stats on your TV. Change the way you experience TV with Xfinity X1. So with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th, it'll be Robbie Grossman. Grossman holds up just in time. Right back to Cahill. So Trevor Cahill will get his first 3 up, 3 down inning. And it happens here in the bottom of the 5th. 5-3 Twins.
For Dailers, how about a Matt Chapman run? This is a double head first slide, close play at second. Forsythe handcuff could not do it, but this is even better. A short, wild pitch, but the pitcher Stewart, while he got to the plate, kind of backed off, really didn't put his nose in front of the sliding of Chapman, and the A's able to score a run. Chris Davis did strike out, so the A's able to score that run, and it's 5-3.
And it is the top of the 6th. Laundry needed for Matt Chapman tonight. Going to be Laureano, Lucroy, and Martini.
Well, that's all right. They have it clean for tomorrow, but they need it for the weekend because it's players' weekend names. So it's going to have another jersey. That's right. With the names on the back.
Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, right?
That's right. All 3 starting tomorrow.
Well, we have the list of nicknames, but we don't want to spoil anything for tomorrow.
Just wait till tomorrow.
I mean, who knows what Chappie's jersey's going to say in the back, right? Who knows?
Or Ole's.
Yeah, who knows what Ole's going to say? We don't know. Can't tell you. You got to wait till tomorrow. And Laureano tried to hold up, couldn't do it. So he strikes out. One away here at the top of the 6th.
The old check swing, and you have a hitter, see a pitch, you think about stopping, try, can't do it. That's the curveball that just went too far. And that easily called by Tim Timmons, home plate umpire.
So the A's have struck out 7 times so far in the ball game. Now the Red Sox beat the Indians 7-0 today in Boston. So that big 4-game series against 2 teams that are certainly going to be headed to the postseason ends up in a split. Kuznets has got to get over there. He does. 2 outs here in the 6th inning, and now to the top of the order, Nick Martini. So the Indians won the first 2 games. The Red Sox won the last 2.
You know, you bring up a good point, Cap, about the home field advantage, because Cleveland's going to win the division. That doesn't mean that they're going to have home field advantage. If the Western Division team does have a better.
Yeah, because the Red Sox are going to win the East, and they're going to have the best record. So they're going to play the wild card.
They're going to play the wild card. Exactly.
So again, we say this as for sures, but listen, it's probably the way it's going to be. So the West winner would play the Central winner, probably. You know who's pitching well? David Price.
Yes, he is. I saw a little bit of that today.
8 shutout innings today, 3 hits, no walks, and 7 strikeouts. So David Price is now 14-6. So that's a big deal for the Red Sox. Chris Sale is out.
Yeah.
So Yusmeiro Petit starting to throw.
Yeah, Chris Sale's shoulder, there's twice on the disabled list with a sore left shoulder. There has to be some concern.
Going to be another 3-1 put out, and Kuznets has a 3-up, 3-down inning, bottom of the 6th coming up.
A's Baseball on NBC Sports California is brought to you by Staples, the back-to-school specialty store.
Nice look at downtown Minneapolis. Beautiful night for baseball. The Twins leading the A's 5-3 here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Right field Will is in the house, sitting just down to our left, so he's got club level seats tonight. Excuse me, all right.
Yeah.
Oh.
I said, right field Will, how do you get the nickname right field? He says, I'll be out there Saturday, Sunday. So right field Will is here for the weekend.
Yeah, well, we've seen him in quite a few of the visiting ballparks this year. We saw him in Colorado. Remember, he was hacked off because the A's had lost his first 2.
Right. He was. That's right. Good memory, man.
Yeah. San Diego, Minnesota. Was in Houston.
Yeah, Houston this year. Yeah.
Must be nice. Just show your boss the A schedule and say I will not be working here, 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 and here. Well, he's one of our favorite A's fans. He's a good guy, and he is into it, man. And you know what? If the A's got an off day at home, you know where he goes? Stockton. Watch the ports. Give you a little minor league update. So his phone's going to start buzzing here soon. And he'll let us know how much his friends are teasing him that we're talking about it. Hey, when it's time for change things, Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your trusted oil change, tune-up, and repair expert. So your Smera Petit.
Oh, I thought that was for right field Will. That oil change.
He needs a change. He needs to be out in right field. That's why the A's are losing 5-3.
I just wonder if he's going to have his flag out there Saturday and Sunday. I mean, he'd really show us something if that's the case.
Adrianza had a base hit. There you go. See, you're talking about it. Yeah, same old stuff. Yeah, see? He loves it.
You know, he's got that low voice too.
Yeah, he loves it. Look at him. He's a good man. 0-2 to Adrianza. Simeon, low backhand, and throws in time, 2 away.
Well, maybe he's taking advantage of the all-access pass, you know? On the road, at home, doesn't matter for right field well. He's everywhere.
He's going to go no matter what. So 2 away. The Twins this year averaging 24,585 fans per game, down a little bit from last year. Of course, last year, a good season for the Twins. I say that first season here in 2010, they drew 3.2 million, and I think they were sold out every game.
Every game. Yeah.
39,000. It was fun, boy. You come in here and it was packed. That's Trevor May, big right-hander.
That's everyday Eddie Guardado looking on too.
I saw you talking to Eddie before the game.
Yeah. Eddie Guardado is the bullpen coach.
Stockton.
That's right. Everyday Eddie. He never said no.
He was not going to say no. He was pretty good too.
Closing with the Twins. Everyday Eddie. Actually, there's a new pitcher that kind of looks like Eddie, and they call him Little Eddie. And Eddie said, I didn't give him the nickname either. Somebody gave it to him. But if he could pitch like this, Eddie, then it'd be good.
That one is just below us, rattling around a little bit.
Yeah, we talked about the bullpen of the Athletics, and Yusmeiro Petit, with all the additions, he's been a constant. And he has pitched well. His son Samuel, he said, is a big fan. He watches every game, especially when Daddy's pitching. And hoping for the best, and I'm sure Samuel is happy right now, as we all are.
Petit, a good inning, couple of strikeouts, and we are moving to the 7th by 3 Minnesota.
brought to you by Toyota. Designed for the grind that comes through every time. See your local Toyota dealer today. Toyota, let's go places. By Southwest Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. By Xfinity. X1 will change the way you experience TV. And by Cresco. Your #1 choice for tool and equipment rental with 19 stores to serve you in Northern California.
Top of the 7th inning with the Twins leading the Athletics 5-3. When it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your trusted oil change, tune-up, and repair experts. It's big right-hander Trevor May, 2-0, 2.79 ERA. We saw Trevor May a couple of years ago as a starter. He started a couple of games against the A's and had, well, not much luck. The Twins just trying to figure out, is he a starter or is he a reliever?
Good point, yeah.
The big guy, 6'5", 240 pounds. He's 28 years old. And he's pitching the 7th inning. So Trevor May facing Chapman, Lowry, and Davis. Now Chapman's had a good night, a single, a double. He's 2 for 3 with a run scored. Just missed, 2-1.
Yeah, Matt Chapman showing his leadership qualities. As Rogers, the left-hander, gets loose, so it may be a bullpen for both clubs now, with Petit having a 1-2-3 6th inning.
A little bit outside, 3-1. Chapman, a terrific second half. He has clearly taken his offensive game to the next level since the All-Star break. Defensively, we know all about that.
Pretty good guy to build your club around, huh?
Strike 3 called on the outside corner.
You know, hit the same pitch he called the ball. Same pitch he called the ball, then he called a strike. And that's the inconsistency, because this pitch, if you go back a couple, that pitch was called a ball. That's why Chapman headed to first, because you figure if you're going to call it a ball once, you're going to call it a ball twice. He didn't do it. It wasn't a strike, Chappie. Or at least.
So 1 out. Here's Lowry. First pitch to Lowry, right there for a strike. Fly out, strikeout, ground out for Lowry, although the ground out did get Chapman over to third. That was in the 5th inning. Nice job by Alan Buznitz.
Very nice.
Inning in a third. Walk and a strikeout. Got the little help from the left fielder Rosario. Threw out Matt Olson at the plate.
Rosario's seen 3 pitches, and that's it, and saw 1 in the outfield, and that's it. See, he threw the ball to the plate harder than probably the ones he hit.
Just missed. Chris Davis will be next. So now a full count to Lowry.
I think he's trying to get to number 20 on that one. Loaded up a little bit earlier.
There's a drive toward right. Cave is right there. So a well-struck ball by Lowry.
The 2019 A's Access members will receive 50% off concessions, 25% off merchandise, and $10 prepaid parking during the final month of 2018 regular season. Members who joined, new and renewals, are eligible for these benefits starting Saturday, September the 1st. It's against the Mariners. That's a big weekend series. Download the MLB Ballpark app to access the concession and merchandise discounts. Plus, as a member, you still have first opportunity to purchase 2018 postseason tickets. Learn more at athletics.com/2019. Today, A's Access. Every game, your way.
1-0 to Chris Davis, who has homered and struck out twice. J.D. Martinez did not hit a home run today in that Red Sox win. He did drive in a run. That is why Chris Davis now has the major league lead in home runs. Taps this one slowly toward third. Adrianza throws him out. So that's a 3-up, 3-down inning, 7th inning stretch from Target Field coming up.
A's Hall of Fame class with a giveaway plaque presented by 7-Up. As part of the celebrations planned for the Wednesday, September the 5th, you can get your piece of history by grabbing tickets at athletics.com/pinstripes. First 15,000 fans get this giveaway. Don't miss out on history by grabbing your tickets at athletics.com/pinstripes today. It's a nice inaugural class for the Athletics and the Hall of Fame. After 50 years, they have their first, which is a good class. See our good buddy Dave Stewart doing that.
Bottom of the 7th inning as Joe Mauer leads things off. Petit had a nice 3-up, 3-down 6th inning. Joe Mauer a ground out, a walk, and an RBI single. Should point out, Ray, that hit by Joe Mauer in his career, 2,085, and that ties Rod Carew for second place on the all-time hit list for the Minnesota Twins.
Exactly. Rodney ended up, he's got his 3,000th with the Angels. We saw that when we were out there, but congratulations to the Minnesota native, Twin Cities native, Joe Mauer.
Kirby Puckett is the Twins all-time hits leader, 2,304. Joe Mauer still a fair amount away from that, a couple hundred hits. What's going to happen to Joe Mauer, Ray Fosse? He is in the final year of his 8-year, $184 million contract. Last year.
I would say, Kaipe, if he retires, I think he could just sail off in the sunset, be a Twin forever, and
so he's going to have enough cash, is what you're saying?
I'd say he's set nicely.
He's good.
He's not going to have to worry about it.
Well, let's see. He's 35 years old. Been playing for a long time.
Yeah. But you know, he said, and of course, Buster Posey going through the same thing. He's going to have, I guess, hip surgery. If they were talking about it. Joe Mauer had to vacate home plate catching because of concussions and went to first base. And he said tonight, still love to be catching. You know, once you're back there,
sure,
it's just in your blood. And even though Buster Posey, and we wish him the best, and I think he got the shot during the All-Star break for his hip, and speculation that he would have the surgery. Has he had it? I know there was talk about it.
No, I don't think it's been made official yet. Yeah. Sounds like he's probably going to do it.
Well, if you know, you can't blame him for wanting to try to play until if they get mathematically eliminated.
Joe Mauer is retired.
The thing about catching, you're going to have your injuries, and the fact that Joe evidently got hit so hard that the ball ricocheted off his mask and helmet up in the stands, and that was it. And they figured they'd rather have his bat in the lineup all the time. Of course, when he was playing at the Metrodome and he did not catch, Ron Gardenhire, the manager, would have him DH. But he's been permanently moved to first base. Just too many hits on the head.
There's Logan Forsythe outside. So interesting.
Yep.
Well, we said you know, what's going to happen to Joe Mauer as if it's a Twins decision. Well, it's probably a Joe Mauer decision.
Exactly. Yeah. And he would have to take considerably less, I would think, because he's not really a prototypical first baseman with the big power numbers. I mean, this year he has hit just 5. He did hit a lot of home runs, the MVP, batting championships, but at the Metrodome, where a lot of his hits went the opposite field into the seats. Not the case here in the new park.
And how strange would it be if you're Joe Mauer?
Yeah.
You grew up here, like you said.
Yeah.
You lived here your whole life. You played all your games as a Minnesota Twin. Would you be willing to go to a different team?
Yeah.
Two and 2 to Logan Forsythe. That's the lefty Taylor Rogers. He's probably going to start next inning with Matt Olson leading things off. Reached for by Forsythe, leaps a foul.
He's bullpen. Of course, Petit doing a good job. He got a 1-2-3 last inning. He's retired 4 in a row. Bullpen trying to do what they usually do, and that's keep the opposition from scoring, give their offense a chance to come back.
So Forsythe is retired on the strikeout. That's 3 strikeouts for you, Smero Petit. And hey, Saturday at 7 p.m. top scorer Danny Hosen leads the Quakes against the Vancouver Whitecaps. It's also streaming live on the NBC Sports app. The home of the authentic Quakes fan is NBC Sports Bay Area. So that's Saturday at 7 o'clock. San Jose and Vancouver. Here's Rosario. Well, 3 pitches, Ray. How many will he see in this at bat? He's seen 3 in the whole game.
Seen 3. Fly ball left field, base hit with 2 outs. Right field, fly ball left field, and a great throw to his catcher.
And he takes this one low.
Yeah, think about Petit. You mentioned the 3 strikeouts tonight. Yesterday afternoon at the Coliseum in relief of Edwin Jackson. Struck out 4. So he's had a good back-to-back games, and that was just an inning and 2/3. He's perfect at inning 2/3 tonight.
Changeup at 82 miles an hour.
So Rosario couldn't wait. He was upset that he had to take the first one.
Well, that gets us to thinking, how many walks does Rosario have? 30.
The 22 long ones.
Yep.
Miguel joins Rogers, the lefty.
Matt McGill. Fouled into the screen. Chapman with the shift on was playing not even with the baseline. Now with 2 strikes he can go all the way back. Playing at the shortstop spot. Ninth pitch coming up for Yusmeiro Petit. Trying to make it 6 up and 6 down.
Rosario asked for time. He's never gone to the point of seeing 5 pitches. He's going to see the 5th one in this at bat.
And now full count.
I guess he has if he's walked 30 times.
Polanco would be next.
Check off a slider, changeup, fastball in, goes fastball away.
And sliced foul again. This one lower level. 24,171 is the attendance tonight. And a Thursday night in Minneapolis. About as comfortable as you can get to sit and watch a ball game.
Yeah.
Petit grabs it. And that will do it. 6 up, 6 down for Yusmeiro Petit. 8th inning coming up. Olsen to lead it off. Smile.
He'll be followed by Davis and then back. Into deep left center from Mitchell. And we'll see you tomorrow night.
Well, not only one of the great moments in Minnesota sports history, but really baseball history. Such a great call by Jack Buck. There's the seat that it hit. And then the Twins won the next night and won the 1991 World Series. They won it in '87. They won it in '91.
And wasn't it the next night that Jack Morse went 10?
I believe so, yeah.
Dan Gladden, a couple booths over. Scored on the Gene Markin base hit.
Good pitcher.
Puckett, one of the nicest guys in the world.
Who's that?
Kirby Puckett.
Taylor Rogers?
Well, Taylor Rogers, I guess, is nice, but probably not as nice as Kirby Puckett.
Probably not. Tough. That would be hard to do. He was a good man.
Problem with Kirby, he left us way too soon.
So when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your trusted oil change, tune-up, and repair expert. So this is the lefty Taylor Rogers. He's had 2 good years, 2016, 2017, out of the bullpen. Rogers really having another good season this year. He's a workhorse.
Talk about a workhorse right there. Game 7 for Jack Morris. And the walk-off base hit.
That's it.
That's it. Game 7. Dan Gladden, the Glad man, scoring. Probably one of the greatest dekes of the world was Monty Smith, who's deked at second base. There's Dan Gladden.
It may have cost the Braves the World Series.
That's right.
If you can believe that.
Gladman, Dan Gladden was playing, of course.
He's a big favorite here in Minnesota for numerous reasons. Good announcer and a World Series hero from the Bay Area. Almost hit Olsen, and it did. Actually, I don't think it did hit him. I think it was just obviously a ball. It was ball 4, way inside. Either way, the A's have a leadoff base runner.
And you're right. Either way, that's the key for lefty on lefty. And Rogers brought in probably to start with Olsen. He backed off. I mean, it was way off the plate. And it was a breaking ball, so even if it had hit him, it was not going to really hurt him that badly. But the fact that it didn't break didn't help Rogers.
So the A's at it again. 8th inning has sort of been their inning this year. Seems like it's when they really put the most pressure on the opposition's bullpen. They lead the major leagues in runs scored in the 8th inning. 91 runs. 91 out of their 600 and, well, what is now 606 runs have come in the 8th inning.
Bob Melvin hoping the magic continues. Leadoff walk in the 8th, and we saw with Bobby Wilson a leadoff walk to him, and there you see Trinan and Familia. Trinan on the left, Familia on the right.
Pop up, and that should reach the seats in it will. So 1-2 the count to Stephen Piscotty. Simeon is the on deck hitter. He's with 2 runs in the 2nd and 1 in the 5th.
Well, that big run that was thrown out at the plate right now is huge. It would have been a 1-run game. Simeon Marcus with a 2-strike base hit, but great throw by Rosario. The A's lost their challenge on that play at the plate.
Forsythe out. A little bit onto the outfield grass, and he makes the catch. So Piscotty is out. 1 away here in the 8th inning, and now Marcus Simeon will step up. And he's probably going to face a different pitcher. So Taylor Rogers walks a hitter, gets 1 out, and we're headed back to the Twins bullpen. A's trailing 5-3.
athletics and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Athletics Investment Group, LLC.
Well, the A's have a man on with one out here in the top of the 8th inning, down by a pair, and back to the bullpen. 5th pitcher of the night for the Twins. This time it's the right-hander Matt McGill. 30th appearance. He's 2-2, ERA about 3.5.
Full complement of pitches for the right-hander, and Paul Molitor letting Rogers, the lefty, face Piscotty. Hung a slider to him, but not do anything except hit it to right field or to second base.
First pitch is hooked, just foul.
That ball was just foul, but the way the ball hit the sidewall and came back to Rosario, that may be something to pay attention to. That's how close it was. No chalk, but it hit the sidewall and came right back to Rosario. Of course, we have already seen his very strong arm. Played the ricochet perfectly, and it's tough to be going for 2.
A little bit low, but PitchCast says Marcus got a break. Looked like it was pretty much a strike.
I guess the front part of that box doesn't count because check swing, no swing, but the pitch looked pretty good.
And now 1-2. A little bit of an interesting strike zone tonight from Tim Timmons, and he's a veteran umpire, been around a long time.
The other thing that amazes me, Kike, is that the guy could throw the ball at 96, lower part of the strike zone, then flip a slider up, take a chance of hanging it.
See it all the time.
Too much. I mean, look what Trevor Cahill did to Garrett, the catcher. 0-2 curveball, stayed up.
Foul back. 95 in a little bit, right in the inner part of the strike zone. Mariano is the on-deck hitter. That's the closer. Hildenberger got him. So Marcus out in front of that one a little bit. 9 strikeouts tonight by Twins pitchers.
Well, they took a lot off this slider and right in the middle of the plate. That's the surprising thing, because the fact that it was a slider, but it was centered. I'm surprised that Marcus couldn't at least make contact and live for another strike or another pitch.
So Laureano steps up. First pitch to Ramon is a strike. He's 1 for 8 with runners in scoring position. That doesn't come into play here. In that one hit, they got thrown out at the plate.
That's a great point.
Twins, on the other hand, are 4 for 6. No swing. Pitch was a little off the plate.
You know, take note of that pitch location, because that's what happened to Matt Chapman. That pitch was not called a strike, but yet it was on 3-2. And that's the difficult time as a hitter, to take a pitch, have it not called, then take it at a time when you think you've walked and it's called a strike.
Another close pitch. This one called a ball. See what we think of this one.
I mean, it makes you think, why should I throw a 95 on the lower part of the strike zone if then I got to call it?
And now it's 3-1.
Well, you would like to think that Miguel just told the world he's going to throw a 3-1 fastball, and at 95-96, I guess that's all right. See if that's what he gives it.
Well, it was 95, but maybe a little out of the strike zone. Kind of a half swing by Laureano. I think he realized halfway through that it was not a great pitch to hit.
Well, probably a lot. I mean, that's clearly out of the strike zone, and surprised that Garver, the catcher, went to the corner.
So 3-2. The runner at first is Matt Olson. He will take off. And he runs, and it's a little bit low. Laureano with a good at bat. He takes the walk.
Jonathan Lucroy, I think, is going to be called back.
So it's going to be Pinder. Well, this is all about who has the best chance to hit the ball at the ballpark.
Yeah. Or the A's hopeful of an extra base hit too with the speed of Laureano. It's Garvin Austin, pitching coach.
So Pinder will hit for Lucroy. So big moment in the game. Chad Pinder's got 10 home runs, 24 RBIs. He's 2 for 13 as a pinch hitter. He's got 1 RBI as a pinch hitter. First pitch, a little bit low. So 2 walks in the inning. Olson at second. Laureano is at first. He's just looking for that big hit. Twins have got a couple of big hits tonight. And now 2-0. So McGill's got himself in some trouble here.
Well, he's got himself to the trouble that throwing a couple of breaking balls as Hildenberger continues to get loose. And so if Chad Pinder can do something, maybe Hildenberger stays in the bullpen.
Not close, and now it's 3-0.
I have to think if Pinder reaches base, McGill's going to be out.
Yep. And the 3-0 pitch is in there for a strike. Well, Chad Pinder pretty aggressive.
Yeah.
And he's in a hitter's count now at 3-1.
The nice thing about Chad, he's got power to all fields, and outfield playing extremely deep, trying to cut off any possible extra base hit.
Grounded right side. That's Forsythe to first, and McGill gets out of it. So the A's struggles with runners in scoring position continue, trailing 5-3. Here's tonight's game summary brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. 3 runs, 8 hits, no errors for the A's. 5 runs, 8 hits, no errors for the Twins. Trevor Cahill gave up 5 runs in 5 innings. Cole Stewart could not quite hang around long enough to get his first big league win. Another home run for Chris Davis. He leads the major leagues with 39. Olsen a couple of doubles, but it was a 2-run third and a 3-run fourth for the Twins, and they've got the hits with runners in scoring position tonight. And so they lead it 5-3. When it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your trusted oil change, tune-up, and repair experts. Here is Blake Trinan. So Trinan appearing in his 53rd game.
Been a long time since he has pitched, and to the point of he was up and ready to pitch to Adrian Beltre yesterday in the 9th, but as Josh Fagley comes in to catch, Jonathan Lucroy pitched hit for by Pender. So Fagley's catching, Trinan pitching. Trinan was up, did not come in as the hitter in front of Beltre did strike out.
And Trinan last pitched on Friday. Well, today's Thursday.
That's right. And
Well,
it's not going to hurt him to pitch tonight and hopefully be needed to pitch tomorrow or the rest of the weekend. Save situations.
Hit pretty well to left, but Martini gets back quickly, makes the catch. So Polanco is retired. He's 1 for 4. And that'll bring up Max Kepler.
The amazing thing, the A's have not allowed a base runner since Joe Mauer's base hit back in the 4th inning.
That's right.
And that is it. Trevor Cahill retired his last 5. Petit was perfect for 2 innings.
12 in a row.
Yeah. And it's unfortunate the A's have not been able to do anything except score the 1 run thanks to Matt Chapman. And that was all on him with the double, hustle double. Mauer did get him over, but then he scored on the short wild pitch.
First pitch strike to Kepler, who is 0 for 3. It'll be the top of the order for the Athletics in the 9th inning. Cahill for 5, Petit for 2. And now Trinan here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Right field, deep insurance run for the Twins. Number 18 for Kepler, and that was a no-doubter.
Well, there's a slider down and in, and right into the wheelhouse of Kepler at 94. Look at the break, but right in the wheelhouse. And Blake Trinan immediately shot his head to the left, knowing that gone. Launch angle, exit velocity, distance, all good for Kepler.
Right out the gate.
Yep.
So here's Grossman. Fouls it at the plate.
Well, that's a long one.
So went over the seats there and out that main gate in right field. Oh, and 1 to Robbie Grossman, who's 1 for 3. So now a 3-run deficit for the Athletics. Astros not playing today. Mariners not playing today. Yankees not playing today. So a good day to win a game. Right now the A's are trailing 6-3.
Well, probably all good numbers on this one. The StatCast shows 103 off the bat, 29, 400 feet that traveled. And somebody got a souvenir, no doubter.
A little bit inside.
I think this shows that for Blake Trinan, as you mentioned, not pitched since last Friday, that he needs the work. And of course, the games had not been to the point where he was able to get the work in. Yesterday, he was almost in the game. Tonight, he does get in. In both cases, the A's were trailing. Trailed yesterday, ended up losing to the Rangers in the series finale. And tonight, trading 2 runs when it came in.
Such a strange deal, the bullpen, you know, as if you're the manager, you don't want to overwork the guys.
Yeah.
You get a little worried sometimes that they're pitching too much. And then you have stretches like this where they're not pitching enough. Fegley fires to first. Nice play by Fegley as he turned around and got to the baseball quick. A little help from that short backstop, Ray, that you talked about in the very first inning.
Plus, look at the hard back behind. I mean, they should put some sort of pad so it doesn't come back, but look how quickly, almost back. If he'd let it roll, to gone to the plate. Perfect throw. See, Matt Olson did a great job. See, I got into foul territory, and Fegley just spun through, and Olson foul territory. That way, less of a chance for Fegley to hit the runner hustling to first. Hit the backstop. Everything's padded except directly behind home plate.
Yeah, and it's like brick.
Yes.
So it's really going to come off.
Yeah, it's going to come hard the way it did. And
if it's padded, if you go down the lines, it's padded.
Yeah. And that's a problem going back for a foul ball. Of course, usually they're going to go on the seats because there's not that much room back behind home plate.
Right behind second base, Simeon has it, but a home run for Max Kepler, his 18th of the year. Last shot for the A's. They trail 6-3.
The game, we blame it on Bobby Wilson because Garver came in. Instead of Wilson, it's Garver getting a 2-run pinch hit double. As Bobby Wilson somehow sprained his ankle going to first base. Garver, though, Mitch Garver with a pinch hit 2-run hanging curveball that he got from Trevor Cahill. Turned out to be a 2-run double left center. Joe Mauer would bring him in. 3-run inning. But for the Twins, just 2 innings in which they scored. Of course, the home run in the last inning. And Hildeberger is the closer. He comes in to try to save it for somebody.
He's got 3 saves, 3 wins, ERA of 4.48. Trevor Hildenberger. He's a Bay Area guy. Went to Mitty High School, born in Mountain View, and went to Cal.
Well, the A's need base runners, and Nick Martini very good at getting on base if he can do that.
So 1-1 the count to Martini. Trevor Hildenberger. Foul back, and now the count 1-2. Hildenberger got to the big leagues last year for the first time and pitched in 37 games. Had a 3.21 ERA. Lives in San Jose in the offseason. Foul back, Martini. Pretty good swing.
Hildenberger, like most relievers, sinker slider, good velocity on a fastball. There's no slider and changeup, mostly 2 and 4 seam fastball. Happy to get the home run by Kepler for an insurance run.
Got him. Took a little off, and Martini strikes out. So Nick Martini is 0 for 4 with a walk.
Well, all those fastballs running away and then pulled the string on a pitch out of the strike zone. Martini's pretty good usually about taking pitches that far out of the strike zone, but fooled on the delivery by the right-hander.
First pitch to Chapman. Shortstop Polanco, dug out by Mauer, and they got him. Jorge Polanco, Joe Mauer taking a hit away from Matt Chapman. That's a heck of a play.
Well, you see the shift to the left side, and it's the Polanco cutting front, and probably better coming and throwing off balance, but the pick by Joe Mauer at first base, pretty special at the end. With the glove out, there's the ball, and a great way to get second out. Matt Chapman hustling as he always does.
So 2 away here in the ninth as Jed Lowry steps up. First pitch to Lowry is a strike right there at 90 miles an hour. The Twins bullpen has done a good job. The last hit for the A's was that Marcus Semien single on the play that Olsen was thrown out at the plate, and that was in the 5th inning.
That's it.
Lowry trying to get aboard. A's need a couple of base runners. And that one is drilled right field. And that baby is gone. 6-4.
And there's your switch hitter, Kipe, with 20 home runs.
Right. Joins the short list. So a line drive over the wall and right.
That ball might have been hit so hard it came back. Fastball center cut, and 91 Jed Lowry didn't wait on this one. He's running hard, but they're able to get to the trot because of the elevation just kept going. No, well over, so I'm sure Jed will find a way to get the ball.
And Davis, after the first pitch, pops it up. And that's the ball game. So Jed Lowry's 20th home run, not enough in the 9th inning, and game 1 of this 4-game series goes to the Minnesota Twins. So time of game was 2 hours and 58 minutes. The attendance was 24,171. Final score tonight from Target Field in Minneapolis, the Twins over the Athletics 6-4. Time now for A's Postgame Live. Here is Laura Britt.